Hi, this is Bill, and you're on Finest Travel Beat with Angela and Bill. We'd like to welcome everybody back to the channel. Today's episode, we were going to take you on board the Sapphire Princess, where we recently completed a 7-night sailing and actually a 14-day vacation, including the land portion of our Alaska cruise tour. In this video, we're going to concentrate on the ship itself. We'll show you all of the public areas, give you hints, tips, and tricks along the way, as we always do. We will tell you what we enjoyed about the Sapphire Princess, what we think could have been improved, and whether the Sapphire Princess is the right ship for you and your family, whether it be Alaska or one of the many other destinations that she sails to. So sit back, relax, and we hope you enjoy the rest of this video. Thanks again, everybody, for watching. This video is going to be concentrating mainly on the ship, as we see Angela jumping onto it at the beginning and our friends right behind her. We will be doing a full set of videos on the interior of Alaska, including Fairbanks, Denali, the train ride down, and also each port. But this video, we're going to concentrate on the ship itself and the public areas of this ship. Going to jump right into it. Here we are, Deck 7 aft, and Club Fusion. Fusion is one of the larger venues on the Sapphire Princess, again on Deck 7, the Promenade. They host a variety of things here. They will have everything from bingo, they have late night comedy, there will be some dancing in here as well. They will host the loyalty party in here, some trivias. It's a large venue, lots of comfortable seating. While the sightlines aren't perfect all the way in the back, there are TVs hanging from the wall all over that you can see. As we go through the ship, you'll see one of the things we really enjoy about Princess is the variety of lounges and comfortable seating areas. Everything from back here you can see places with tabletops to just larger areas where your group can sit and have a drink and enjoy whatever happens to be going on. Exiting out of Club Fusion and walking forward, you can see here they are setting up for bingo, which is going on a little bit later on during the day. We're walking again on the promenade deck. Let me just give you some quick information on and some stats on the Sapphire Princess. It was built in 2004, but it did have its last dry dock in 2023, so it is fairly updated, and we'll talk more about that as we go through the ship. Here you can see just this is the photo area where you can purchase your photo prints, frames, items for GoPros, binoculars, which were very popular on the Alaska sailing. You could actually rent those as well. The Sapphire Princess carries about 2,600 passengers at double occupancy and about 3,200 when it's max capacity, which our sailing was pretty close to max capacity. It's a smaller ship at 116,000 tons, and it's about 950 feet long. Here we're looking into Sabatini's. This is their Italian specialty restaurant. There aren't as many specialty restaurants on the older Princess ships as there are on some other cruise lines, and the Sun Princess or the Star Princess, which is coming out. We did eat at Sabatini's. Food was excellent there, and I highly recommend it. If you go into Sabatini's, go there hungry, because they just bring food after food after food. Now, as you know, if you're one of our subscribers or you've been watching our channel for any length of time, you know I kind of jump around a little bit. I like to show you the entire ship rather than just jumping from venue to venue, to give you a little idea of the layout and of the size. And then as I go through it, I don't really work off a script. I just kind of give you the information off of some basic notes that's important to know. Here next to Sabatini's is the Internet Cafe. Now this area, it was put in their last dry dock. I guess the purpose of this is to give people a workspace where if you are working from the cruise ship, which I often do and Angela does sometimes, especially with the travel business, we constantly have to do that. That's an area you can go into, and they have some areas where you can work. Personally, I think it was a little bit of wasted space because people tended to be on their laptops at other areas. Here right now you can see this is where the medallions are almost like an AirTag type of thing, where it will act as your room key. Your door will automatically open up when you get close. It also works as your key card if you are making purchases when you go to the bar. You hand them a medallion, or they can actually, if it's not crowded, they can actually see on their little iPad who you are, place your order, and they can actually find out where you are on the ship as well. Now, walking forward here, we are at the Explorer Lounge. There was an art auction going on, so I didn't get in here. You really don't get a great idea of the space here. It's a little bit smaller than the Club Fusion in the back. Nightclub style seating, like it tables. As you see, a lot of people were playing games in here during the day. At night, they would host a lot of trivias, name that tunes. They also did the Love and Marriage show. Love and Marriage show is almost like the old Newlywed Game, if you've never seen it. With a good cruise director, it's hysterical. And if you want to see it, get there very, very, very early because it gets jammed. Continuing our walk forward on the promenade deck, you can see there is an exit out to the traditional promenade. I think I have some video of that later on. That was a really popular place when we were cruising through the various fjords and into Glacier Bay National Park. But here is the Crooner Lounge. This was a spot we kind of hit a little bit later at night. Day is a piano there. At night there will be a piano player playing. On our cruise, he was pretty much straightforward, played good piano music. We've been on other cruises where the Crooner Lounge is a lot more interactive, where they have a real funny, engaging piano player. So whichever style you like, they may or may not have it for you there. I kind of talked over your first view of the Grand Piazza. We'll have more of that, trust me. You'll see all of that. But this is kind of the hub of the ship. That is the bar that is attached to the Crooner's Lounge. You also saw a little spot where they have, in the mornings, Bloody Mary station set up. Pretty cool. They did have some shopping out here, t-shirt sales, things like that. Not going to show you too many of the shops, just kind of give you an idea of the stuff that's available on it. Here, you can buy assistants' watches, things like that. Now, talking about the shops, what I will tell you is that some people do make large purchases on these ships. That's a better view of the Grand Piazza there. This was kind of the center. You can see they had different games. Here they were playing some sort of a dart game. I believe this was, this was officers versus guests. They pretty much do that every morning where they have different officers doing Jenga or darts or various or water pong, various different things, which was a lot of fun. Getting back to what I was telling you about the shopping, just as a word of warning, I had a client of mine who recently got off a cruise on another cruise line. He splurged. He spent quite a bit of money on some items, a watch for himself, some pockets for his wife, various other things totaling over $10,000. Now, he was told that it was random, but I don't believe it for a second. Here is where you're going to get your basic cigarettes, duty-free liquor, things like that, logo merchandise. We collect ship models, Christmas ornaments, that type of stuff you'd have in here. But again, what I'll tell you is if you're purchasing over $10,000, don't be surprised if when you're getting off the ship, you're escorted to customs to declare those items. They don't tell you about it ahead of time. The duty was not high for my friend, but he was pretty upset at that it was a surprise to him that nobody from the cruise line kind of let him know. He didn't really know what was going on. Him and his family were escorted to customs. The customs guys were great, no issues at all. But again, if you're spending over $10,000, don't be surprised if you do get that escort off the ship when the cruise is over. Well, now that I talked over our favorite area on the ship, this was the Wheelhouse Bar. Angela and I generally find this one spot on every cruise ship that we like, and this was it. That was kind of our incident command post, as you will say, that chair and that couch there. We had a large group with us, so we were about 35 people, and that was kind of the spot where everybody met up. It was a nice place. Service was fantastic. were able to get nice seats. Here you can see they had different displays. I'll talk about that through the video. Being that we're in Alaska, they had a lot of enrichment stuff going on. But getting back to that Wheelhouse Bar, that was the bartenders got to know us. They got to know our drinks. And it kind of became the place where we all met up before and after dinner. They did have some music, some jazz and things, but it wasn't overpowering. So that was a really nice spot. And, of course, while they have enrichment talks, they also have Deal or No Deal. This is another one, a bingo type of game based off of the TV show. We're now down on Deck 6. The theater is in Deck 6 and 7 forward. Here is Churchill's Lounge. This is still a cigar lounge on this ship. Nice quiet bar. Even though it was cigar lounge, it had great ventilation in here, so it was not, it didn't have that terrible smell in there. Now, on many of the ships, they're actually turning this into video arcades, but at the time of this filming, Churchill's was still a cigar lounge. Walking on Deck 6 forward, here you go up a couple of steps and you're in the Princess Theater. The Princess Theater is where they will have a lot of the enrichment talks during the day. Cruise director will have different things going on. Here you can see they're getting ready for an enrichment about glaciers. They have various experts that come on for the various ports of call. You'll also have your shows, production shows at night, guest entertainers there. Also on Deck 6 here, you can see is the Future Cruise desk and the Captain's Circle, which is their loyalty program. There's also a small library here where they have some books, small space where you could maybe read or things like that. Not so much. Some libraries have a lot of games and stuff, but I think this is a smaller area, kind of converted. If you were playing games and stuff like that, there are better areas for board games. Now, getting back to the main theater, again, there was guest entertainers. On our particular cruise, the entertainment was average at best. It was an Alaska itinerary, so I don't think that was a huge thing for the cruise director. They were much more about bringing enrichment talks, talking about various species of whales and how the glaciers are formed and things like that. In here, they did do, on the last sea day, they do this neat thing with the head chef. They do like a cooking show with the hotel director, and then afterwards they take you through the galley, on a galley tour. And I have some footage of that you'll see a little bit later on in the video. Continuing here on Deck 6 forward on the port side of the ship, opposite from the Future Cruise desk and the Circle desk, is the shore excursion desk. Now, this is where you'll come to book your shore excursions, switch them up if you need to, talk to them if you have any questions about your shore excursions. They can help you out. Walking aft, again on Deck 6, the Fiesta deck, is the casino. One thing we noticed, we believe that Sapphire Princess was originally built for the Asian market. The casino was very, very large. And another interesting thing we noticed was that a lot of the writing was in two languages. Elevator signs, things like that, were in English and in Chinese. We definitely saw more of an Asian influence on the ship than we have on the several other Princess ships that we have been on. Walking out of the Grand Casino on Deck 6, again, this is the Piazza area. There are some more shops. Let me just talk to you a little bit about Princess Cruises in general. Princess Cruises is more of a classic cruising experience to us, especially these ships. The Sun and the Star Princess is very different. We have videos on the Sun Princess up. That's much more of a contemporary ship. But Princess has a real classic cruising feel. You can see there's a lot of dark wood. Here is one of the restaurants we're walking into. There are several dining rooms, depending on whether you have traditional dining, early or late dining, or if you have a My Time dining. This is a Santa Fe dining room on the other side. But again, Princess is definitely a more classic experience. than, say, a Celebrity. I put them kind of similar in a little bit more upscale than Norwegian or Royal Caribbean. I'm not going to say fancier, but just a little bit more sophisticated, a little more refined than the mainstream cruises. You'll see later on, there were a lot of children on this particular sailing. I guess I was actually very surprised. This was in late June into early July, and there were a lot of kids on this sailing. Very well behaved, no problems. They have a lot of kids clubs. I'll show you a little bit of the kids clubs later, but I was surprised how many kids were on board. Here we're showing you that galley tour, as this is behind these dining rooms. This is really neat. I highly recommend if you're on a Princess cruise. This seems to have been expanded fleet-wide, where on the last sea day, they do this little cooking show. It's always a little bit of comedy. And this time they had a little bit of a talent show with some of the staff. That was really nice. Nice to see the staff enjoying themselves. Staff on Princess is fantastic. Never, ever disappoints. And that was really fun. So we highly recommend if you get the opportunity to go do that. Again, this being Alaska, they had some local Alaskan crafts in the shops. A lot of warmer clothes you see in the Caribbean, some hats, some Alaskan stuff, as well as the regular stuff that you expect to see, your Pandora, Swarovski crystals that you would expect to see in shops throughout the year. We're now going to go down to Deck 5, which is the lower level of the Grand Piazza. Again, that Grand Piazza is that central area, 3 levels. They have a lot of things going on in the Grand Piazza area. One of the favorites on board was they had a dog sled puppies in the Piazza. They brought 2 dog sled puppies on, as well as one of the Iditarod winners. That got packed. If they have puppies in Piazza, get there early to get your pictures and see the adorable dog sled puppies. Over here is Alfredo's. Now, Alfredo's is not included in your dining in your cruise fare unless you're the Princess Plus or Princess Premier packages. And even then, these Doni Gemiani pizzas, which are fantastic, are a little additional charge. So that is an additional charge. Here is Vine's Wine Bar. Getting back to Alfredo's, the pizza is excellent there. It's considered casual dining experience. If you have the Plus package, you get 2 of those for a cruise. If you have the Premier, you can eat there as many times as you want. We really feel there's a big value in the Plus and Premier packages, but that's an individual decision you have to make. And if you didn't have the pizza in there, the pizza up on the Lido deck is excellent. Going around here, you can see they have a piano, they have bands playing at night. And then over on the other side from Vine's Wine Bar is the Lobby Bar and the Good Spirits at Sea Lounge. The Good Spirits Bar is another staple on Princess cruises. On some ships, we've been on 10 different Princess cruises. On the larger ships like the Regal Princess, this Good Spirits Bar is quite a bit larger. So it was a little bit better. This one was a little bit crowded, so normally we would be there, but that's why we ended up in that Wheelhouse Bar so much. Here is the International Cafe. All of these foods, the pastries, they have rolls, breakfast sandwiches, things like that in the morning, at night, or in the afternoons and in the evenings. They have various sandwiches and things like that. All of that's included. The specialty coffees are additional unless you have one of those packages. But the International Cafe was a great spot on port days. That's usually where we went down. We went down there, grabbed this basically like a McMuffin sandwich, which aren't bad, or a croissant, chocolate croissant Angela loves, or coffee, sat down, had something, and that way we didn't have, had to get up really, really early in the morning to go have breakfast anywhere. Now, I know I'm going really fast, and I'm trying to keep these videos as short as possible, but yet give you a lot of information in a short period of time and also give you an idea of the scale of the ship. So we hope that, I hope the pacing is good. If you don't think the pacing is good, please let me know in the comments below. Beautiful area, beautiful ship, very, very well maintained. The interior areas were really, you would really have no idea that this ship was as old as it is. Now, through the magic of YouTube, we're going to transport you up to deck 14, the Lido deck. It was pretty chilly for Alaska here. The interior is much warmer, but as you can see, the kids, they didn't care. A pool's a pool and water is water. But back here is the outrigger bar. This is the Horizon Terrace area. The bar area there was open, but it had rained a little bit in the morning, and people weren't there. This is right on the other side of the buffet. If you're doing a cruise in a warmer area, this is a great spot to go in the back of the ship here. A lot of people don't discover it right away. But again, a real nice spot. And even when the weather was warmer, when you're in Glacier Bay and stuff like that, I just absolutely love the wake view. So it's one of our favorite spots on any cruise ship is the back. As I show you this area and then we walk you through the buffet over here, I'd just like to ask you real quick, if you're getting value of this video, please hit that like button. Comment below on any suggestions or thoughts that you may have on the video. And definitely hit that subscribe button if you're interested in seeing our other videos that we've already produced on many, many ships or the ones that are to come. This series will be a full series on the land portion of Alaska, including Denali, Fairbanks, the train ride. We'll be showing videos on Glacier Bay, Hubbard Glacier, Ketchikan, Juneau, Skagway. There goes Angela, and there goes Donna. That was one of the nice things about being on a small ship is you're constantly running into people on it, so that is an advantage. Also an advantage on the smaller ships is that they can get in closer to the glaciers than the large ones can. But again, if you're getting value of this video, please also feel free to share it with your friends. Again, we're not professional video editors, as I'm sure you can see, but we just try to give the information that we find that was most useful to our friends and family and would help us out. The buffet on the Sapphire Princess was a little on the smaller side than on other ships we've been on. Now, granted, it is a smaller ship, but we found the buffet a little small. Food was okay. We find that there were a lot more selections in the buffet on some of the other ships we've been on. I find myself comparing Princess to Celebrity a lot because they're pretty similar price points and pretty similar types of experiences. And I guess if I'm comparing this to a Celebrity buffet, it's not even close. But then again, Celebrity buffets, I think, are some of the best at sea. But the food was very tasty there. I'll show you in a little bit where you're going to get your pizzas and your burgers and hot dogs and things like that outside. So they were not part of the buffet area inside. Over here, you can see coffee is included, lemonade, things like that. There are stations for those right there. Now, we are continuing to walk forward out of the Horizon Court buffet area into the Calypso Reef pool. The Calypso Reef and pool has a retractable glass roof, as you can see there. So when it's sailing in warmer waters, they'll retract it. But for Alaska, Northern Europe, colder itineraries is perfect because it was always warm in here and the pool was a decent temperature. There is a small bar there, the Calypso bar. There's also a couple of hot tubs in here. Angela and I didn't swim in this during the cruise because we're from Florida and we do the Caribbean a lot. So we do have a pool we can use, and it was a little chilly. We actually did swim in Fairbanks, Alaska in hot springs. There's a video coming on that. Please be patient as it takes a long time to edit these videos for an amateur, but we will have videos up on Fairbanks and the Chania hot springs. Walking forward, again, continuing on deck 14, which is the Lido deck. There is no deck 13 on this ship. Some ships have a deck 13. This one does not. We are going into Neptune's Reef and pool. There are a couple of hot tubs towards the back here, and then again a pool. Beautiful tile work. I really like the look of this ship. It did not look its age. It does not look like a 20-year-old ship. Between being well maintained, dry dock, things like that, it was really nice. Very nice pool area. Great spot to look at the glaciers, both here and the deck above it, which we'll take you to in a few minutes. Obviously, being in Alaska, it's a little bit cooler, so you weren't fighting to get a lawn chair. Nobody was out at 5 o'clock in the morning putting their towels on a chair in Alaska. One of the things that they do, though, is especially when you're in Glacier Bay and doing scenic sailing, you can request blankets, and you can have a blanket either sitting up on a chair or just kind of the blanket around you to keep you warm. We'll talk a little bit at the end about how to dress for Alaska. That's always a tough one. Here is the Trident Grill. This is where you'll order your hamburgers. They have some tacos, chicken sandwiches, barbecue, hot dogs, chili cheese dogs are really good. You can get cheese fries as well. One of our friends, Bob, turned me on to the hot dog with cheese and bacon on it, which they obliged. Not sure I really need that, but it was very, very good. In between the Trident Grill and Prego, the pizza place, is the Mermaid Tail Bar. Again, this is another... the alcohol selection is excellent, especially if you have that premier package. I drink Zacapa rum, pretty much known as one of the only people that drink Zacapa rum, so after a couple of days, they kind of get to know what I drink. But that is not a cheap rum, and it is included in the premier package. This here, again, this is Prego. This is where you're going to get your pizza. This is included. They generally have plain and pepperoni every day, and then there'll be a different type of pizza that rotates around. The pizza here was excellent. I know everybody argues what's the best pizza at sea. We really enjoyed this. We were just on an MSC cruise. MSC, people say, is the best pizza at sea. No, I don't think it was even close. This is on deck 15 forward, so we're one deck up from the Lido deck in the forward part of the ship. We'll double back, and I'll show you the aft part as well. But on the right here is a beauty parlor. This is where if you want to get your hair done or nails, things like that, you can get that done in there. In the front is a gym, probably appropriately sized for the number of passengers on the ship. Obviously, the larger cruise ships have a much larger gym area, but again, they have pretty much all the equipment I think you would need. They have some weights, a lot of exercise bicycles, beautiful view off the front of the ship in the gym area as well. I did my weightlifting there as well. About a 12-ounce DJ pocket camera is what I was lifting. Now, outside the Lotus Spa is the Lotus Pool. Now, this is a bit of a hidden gem. The temperature actually wasn't all that cold for Alaska, but this pool is, people don't tend to find it because it's kind of, you have to go through that area, and most people think it's part of the sanctuary. Now, the sanctuary is an additional cost on the ship. It's they have excellent service. You get cabanas, clamshells. They'll serve you food, drinks. That's an additional cost up here on this deck. But the pool, the Lotus Spa pool, is not additional. It's included in your cruise fare. You don't need to have access to the sanctuary to get to that. So that's something that a lot of people don't realize. Now, just so that you know, if you notice, I went up the stairs from that pool to the sanctuary. We're on deck 16, which is a sports deck. Now, if you come out of here, here's another hidden area that a lot of people don't discover. This is a great spot for sail away. Probably by the time if you're going to get to Glacier Bay, you would not be, it would probably get pretty crowded. Angela and I did do a grand suite for this cruise. We splurged. We did a forward facing suite. It was an amazing cabin. We're going to have a full video up on that as well. So we spent a lot of time when we were in Glacier Bay, which is a full day. Amazing. I can't say enough about it. We spent a lot of time in the cabin. We actually had drinks delivered through the medallion and food and things like that. But this is a great spot. Now, again, we're up on deck 16, the sports deck. You walk all the way forward here. It does get pretty chilly when you're moving at full speed because you're all the way in the front of the ship. So it's going to get very, very windy up here. But here is a deck that is right over the bridge. Just absolutely breathtaking view. You basically have the same view that the captain does. Continuing on deck 15, on the sun deck, we are walking, would be from the Lotus Spa area. We also didn't show you in the Lotus Spa area, there are massage rooms. We can get massage, body treatments. There's also a steam room and a sauna in both the male and female ends. Here we are overlooking that main pool. There's a big movie screen. They do movies on the ship as well. You'll see some movies there. Over here is another bar. I think this is called the Trade Winds Bar. Off to the left there is the small smoking area, kind of underneath that area there. And we're looking up now onto the sports and sky deck. Not much to see up there. Not much to do up there. I guess it would be another spot if you're looking out into the glaciers or maybe going through the Panama Canal. Another spot to see. But you can see here there's a smoking area. Fairly small smoking area. Not a lot of use, as you can see. But again, if you were cruising in the Caribbean, this whole area would be much, much more crowded. And now we're continuing to walk forward on deck 15. So let's talk about clothing real quick. I'll go into it more on the other videos at specific ports, but in general, when you go to Alaska, pack for all 4 seasons. We had spectacular weather when we were at Fairbanks, which is very far north. The weather was in the upper 80s, and we were in shorts the whole time. Did not have rain. Most of the cruise, we did not have much rain. We had really nice weather. We did have rain a couple of the ports towards the end, but it does get chilly. The waters off of Alaska are not warm at all, so you're going to want to bring jackets. And we did wear the gloves on Glacier Bay Day because we were out, and again, the wind was coming into us, so hats, gloves, heavy jackets, all that were definitely needed. Now we're looking back down into the Calypso Reef and Pool. They up on this level. There was some ping pong tables, things like that. Again, now getting into it, that area was loaded with kids. Very well behaved, though. It's not like some cruise lines where the kids are really out of control, especially in Alaska. Well, the kids are kids, and they have a great time and everything. It was definitely an appreciation for the wildlife and things like that. No water slides on this ship. There are kids clubs, and we'll show you those in a couple of minutes. The kids clubs are right next to this Calypso Reef and Pool, so I think that's why we ended up having that area was kind of had a lot more kids than most. Here, just want to show you real quick. There are these interactive screens on each deck that show you what is on there, and you can hit those and it'll tell you kind of if you need to locate something, you can find it very easily. These are the kids clubs. This again is on deck 15 forward. They have various activities of various ages. I didn't film much in here because there were kids in these clubs. As you know, I don't want to be creepy old guy with the camera sticking it in to kids while they're at play. To me, these areas when there's kids in there, this is their safe zone. This is where they should be able to be without people filming them. The rest of this video, it will be concentrating on the aft portions of the ship. This is deck 16. Now, there is a nightclub in the back of the ship called Skywalkers. You have to go all the way to the back, take the elevator up to deck 16, and from there you're going to take this escalator, which will start when you step onto it, up to deck 17, which is Skywalker's Lounge. It is a nightclub at night. They have a dance floor, music. First few nights, music was a little loud later at night, but when all the bars and the rest of the ship closed down, this is usually when it stays open the latest. On our sailing, this was open till about 1 o'clock in the morning. Didn't get too crowded. Alaska's not really a big party crowd. This was also a great place to be when we were in Glacier Bay National Park, because in Glacier Bay they bring U.S. Park Service rangers on board who do kind of tell you what you're looking at, the history of the different glaciers and stuff. They had a station set up here. They were selling some souvenirs. You could get your National Parks passport book stamped here. They also had different literature they were giving out, answering questions. The Park Service was throughout the ship, but that was really where you were going to go for the most up-to-date information. This is, again, we're looking at the aft part of the ship. The various levels. There's several levels of hot tubs and pools back here. Again, we've been on Princess in the Caribbean. It gets pretty crowded back there. There is, up on the top there, a very small sports deck. There is some shuffleboard, basketball, things like that. And this is just outside of Skywalker's there, so you could actually walk up to it as well. This is back through Skywalker's. I'll touch a little bit on dining, but once again, before I do, if you're enjoying this video, please hit that subscribe button. It really helps us out. We are on the verge of getting to 10,000 subscribers, believe it or not. I never thought that would happen. But again, thank you all for your support, and your kind words in the comments have meant the world to us. Touching quickly on dining, there was only one other specialty restaurant on board, which was a Brazilian steakhouse at Churrascaria. That they actually took over part of the buffet area. The food was fantastic. They just kept bringing, if you've ever been to one, you have a coaster. Green means bring me more meat. Red means give me a break for a while. The food was fantastic, tasted delicious. Plenty of food for everybody. They were able to accommodate 14 of us back there. Very, very enjoyable. All of our meals in the main dining room were excellent. The food was done to the proper temperature. I don't think anybody ever had a really bad meal. Some are better than others. We don't really talk much about food because food is subjective. But what I will say is it was flavorful, it was done to the right temperature, and it was served warm. Again, trying to keep these videos short. We will have a full series of videos on this where we're going to go over a lot more things. If you go into Alaska, you're going to want to watch those. We talk about things like how the transfers work, luggage, which you can bring with you, which you can't bring with you, what goes ahead, how to dress, how the lodges work, all of that. We also have a ton of other videos up on the channel. Again, trying to keep these videos a little bit shorter. We know your time is valuable, and hopefully you appreciate that. So once again, on behalf of Angela, thank you so much for watching these videos, and we will see you on our next adventure. Bye-bye, everybody.